Me and him email, so I don't know if anybody else is, like, there's a formal. Okay. Yeah, I copied. You did. I forwarded it because she sent it to me, and I'm like, wanting approval. Like, I just need your blessing to put this.
I told her that my concern from a park rec standpoint on the trail is visualization both ways.
Right.
And then you chimed in and said you had a concern about the size of this little truck that goes through, right? Yeah. Because it doesn't make sense.
Does it need to come? We need to come up here for council approval to be placed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's occurring.
So they've already built it?
That's like number 5 or 6.
It sounds like in the emails we're getting, like, well, as soon as he gives his blessing, she's already got mine, then she can tell Liberty Ironworks to go ahead and put it in.
Well, they're paying for it. I know that.
Yeah.
But as far as I was doing it, yeah.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
I would think somebody here needs.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to the first December meeting of the Mount Vernon City Council and call this meeting to order. And the first item on the agenda is, are there any agenda changes or additions? And I saw none.
Move approval of the agenda as presented.
Paul, thank you. Mark, who was seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're now to the communications time of the meeting. First of all, is anybody here to talk about anything that's not on the agenda before we introduce John Bardsley here? Anybody here for public comment in general? Otherwise, we'll turn this over to John Bardsley, who's going to talk about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And John did get in touch with us plenty in advance, or he is on the agenda, so we're not going to worry about a time limitation if it goes on further. It's a good cause, and it's just a lot of give and take with questions and so on. We can address that as well. So, Mr. Bardsley, if you just introduce yourself, and is the mic on?
Just want to push that button in the middle, John. Should turn green.
Name and where you're from.
I'm John Bardsley from Lisbon. I'm here on behalf of the Friends of the Lisbon Library. And we've had the Dolly Parton Imagination Library in Lisbon for 3 or 4 years now. And we cover all of the zip code of Lisbon. And we, in the spring, added Mount Vernon's zip code. We had some good support from Moms and some others to help us sign kids up and to donate some significant donations to us. Right now, we have around 221 kids signed up. 84 of those are Mount Vernon kids, which is a really quick, good start. It took us about 2 years to get up to 60%, which Dolly Parton says you should be able to do within 5 years. So it's been well received in this area. People have been very generous. And Lisbon has been giving us $1,000 a year for the last 3 years. And we've had no problems with the auditors on that since it is for public use. And I've got some supporters here. And do you have anything else to add? You had something?
Mm-hmm. You know me. I can always think of something. You sure you didn't? I gave you a couple of handouts. One is about, just in general, about how the Dolly Parton Imagination Library works. All over this country and England and Ireland and help me with other countries, Australia. It's all over the place. I made a little correction there. Pays under primary roles of the local affiliate is now $2.60 per child per month instead of $2.20. We made a little infographic here just about our Mount Vernon-Lisbon affiliate, I guess is the right term. Is that the term to use? For how this works for us and about how we've increased our enrollment up 90% since we've added our Mount Vernon zip code to that. So, did I say who I was? I am Marty Hurst, and I am from Mount Vernon. But I'm on Friends of the Lisbon Library, so that's kind of how I got involved in this and starting it. So that's just information for you to read at your leisure if you like, or we can go over it. The Dolly Parton Imagination Library was started by Dolly Parton to inspire the love of reading in all children. Her father did not know how to read. I don't know if he eventually did, but that's kind of how this got started for her. And she started with just the county around where she grew up, and now it's grown substantially. And I can tell you lots of research articles and lots of statistics, but the one thing I know for sure to be absolutely true is that exposing children to books early results in increased school readiness. And from the time that they sit in their parents' lap, I think you can probably remember that, even as old as I am, I can remember that. Or having my own kids in my lap and looking at a book, learning how to hold a book, learning how to hold a book up the right way, looking at it, naming the objects in the book, all the things that you do with kids that get them literate, that make them literate and let them know about books, listening to stories, reading on their own. Books matter for kids, no matter who they are. And better reading equals better students, better graduation rates, better members of our community. It just makes sense. What an investment to make, what an easy investment to make in our community to support children in their reading. So we can talk about lots of different things if you have questions, but that's just a little bit of the spiel that I'll give, and hoping for your support in continuing the Dolly Parton Imagination. Kids are pretty excited to get those books in the mail every month and see their name on the package. They might have books anyway, but there's something about
Getting your own mail as a kid.
It's a big deal. I don't know if any of
That
you...
quickly wanes as an adult.
It might wane, yeah, you don't get the kind of things you like to get.
No.
But I remember as a little kid reading the back of the cereal box, and my mother would let us order whatever, a doll, a cheap doll or whatever. And to have that come in the mail with your name on it was pretty cool. But think about getting a book, and that's pretty nice.
Another memory I have is, and correct me, Jack and Jill books when you were in grade school, that you could order a book and it would come in the mail to you as well.
I don't know. I'm younger than, older than you. I don't remember.
This would have been in the
Jill.
1960s sometime, so yes.
Did you grow up in Iowa?
Yeah, I did. I was in.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
no, I always enjoyed that. And
Well, is there, John mentioned the Lisbon City Council gives $1,000 annually, is that correct?
Yes, they
Is
have
there-
through the last 3 years.
Okay. Is there a specific ask in front of us here? I mean, not as part of this, because we can't do something official here. This is more informational.
I too would like to hear if there's an ask, and I'll start with that one.
Yeah.
Well, besides the city giving us 1,000, the school board gave us 1,000 the first year when we started. So whatever you feel comfortable in giving.
The school board in Lisbon.
In Lisbon, yeah. The population of kids under 5 in Mount Vernon is, I think, in the zip code is over 250, and in Lisbon it's a little under 200. Those figures, of course, keep changing and aren't exact.
So our annual cost to support, will you say that for me, Carol? You'll say it better than I'll.
Well, as Marty said, 60% of your total eligible population, which for us is 450. So that's about 270 kids. That's our goal we hope to achieve by the end of this year.
And you're at 220 and change right now,
220.
is it? Okay.
Mhm.
Between both towns.
Yeah, and so then that $6,000 invoices to Dollywood Foundation, and we have our other costs. So, you know, we fundraise in the community, individuals, and we do some grant writing as well. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Carol, the budget is about 6,000 and then some other costs? Is it under
Yeah.
10,000 for the budget for the year?
Yeah, $1,500 for general.
At present, of course, as we add more kids, and
Yep.
the big push now is to sign up kids from this zip code in Mount Vernon.
So can
People have been very giving, so we're doing pretty good.
My question would be, when would we put an actionable item on here for funding for this?
If you want to take a formal vote on it, you can. You don't necessarily have to. It's of a dollar amount, but it's below my spending. So if you just
So we could just give you a nod
looked at me and said,
Okay.
I will look at Marcia and figure out what we're gonna do.
I'd just like it if you could consider it for your next fiscal year.
Yeah, that, I think that's an excellent way forward, because,
I propose at the $1,000 level.
What's not to like about Dolly Parton?
I know this
Agreed.
is like, I hate to use this term, and I use it very sparingly, but for me, this one's a no-brainer. And you won't hear me say that, especially in this room, very often. But this is wonderful. I think it's great. I appreciate you bringing it forward to us. John, you've been a great partner with the city of Mount Vernon for many years. It's a pleasure to see you, and to have you bring this forward. I think it fits with our mission of supporting our public library, the uniqueness of our public library in Mount Vernon with being affiliated with Cornell College, the work that Grace Chamberlain, I don't say it enough, that she's doing a wonderful job up here. And Marty, you're exactly right. I mean, I remember getting a package, a letter. You know, I'm a second generation American. My parents immigrated from Switzerland in the 1950s. When there was a, piece of mail from grandma or grandpa or aunt or uncle from Switzerland, it was the highlight of my month. So I think if all it takes is a head nod, I'm nodding.
How about one question, action plan to build that number from 84 up in Mount Vernon? How do you do that? Open houses, newspaper article, direct mail?
Getting more publicity, and people can sign their kids up that are under 5 at Bauman's or at the Lisbon Library, or they can do it online. And we're looking for other ways.
We've been to backpack nights and those kinds of things to sign people
Chalk
up.
the walk.
Chalk the walk,
Our
Heritage Days,
doctor's offices.
every hot and sweaty event in the summer. We've been outside. And recently, so Jamie Moss, what's her name, Jamie Smith, and she opened, we took, things down to her to have, because there's a lot of research articles out there about combining literacy with well child checks, so we took information down to her and at the doctor's offices, so. And we're, I kept kind of slowly expanding out on those kinds of things too, banks and wherever you could think of, grocery stores.
Established daycares?
Yeah. And we've been down to the elementary schools too, even though most of those kids are older, there's still that under 5 contingent, so.
And many of them have younger siblings, so it's wonderful.
What is the goal of the group here as far as action items for Chris? Put on.
Yes.
Yep,
Okay.
it's fine.
You're here?
Find your hand somewhere.
Can we do a motion on this, or just a nod? I know, okay, we can, okay. I think everybody's general support of it, so.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
If you need more information, let me know. Love to talk about it.
Just got a couple of comments. Dolly Parton does not want us and will not allow us to go to the parents that are receiving these books and asking them for money. Of course, if they feel guilty about it, want to donate, we'll take their donations. And one of the feedback things that we got that most impressed me, one of the older kids that are in grade school, one of these children that were receiving a book, was the most excited when the book would come, because he got to read it to his younger sibling.
Oh, thank you.
Have an interest in it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, John Barney. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We've got one item on the consent agenda, that's the approval of council minutes from November. Anybody have a chance to review it, or?
Move approval of the minutes presented.
Paul, is there a second?
Second that.
Okay, Paul, great. Move and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No public hearings. We've got ordinance approval for a third reading. 10/7/2024B, within chapter 46, 5 minutes of the Mount Vernon Code of Ordinances. No
comments.
No further comments, I saw.
Unless there's further questions or concerns on that, I move approval of the third and final reading for ordinance 10-7-2024B, amending chapter 46 minors of the Mount Vernon Code of Ordinances.
Second.
Moving seconded to approve the third reading, 10-7-2024B. And hearing no other comments or questions, I think we're ready to go to a roll call vote.
Turler,
Yes.
Engel,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Ordinance passes the third reading. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the meeting that Stephanie West is not going to be here in any form because of some issues. So, next item for ordinance is 11-4-2024A, setting chapter 165, zoning regulations, article 302, definition articles 11301, limited industrial district, the Mount Vernon Code of Ordinances. Looking at a third reading here again.
I,
Do you have any questions? All right, if there are no other questions, well, I'd like to thank, council and us getting all back together after reviewing everything. I know it was confusing that first night when there was a no vote, but I think that was the purpose of it, and I appreciate everybody's patience regarding that. And I think we got the correct resolution. So with that being said, I'd like to move for approval of ordinance number 11-4-2024A, amending chapter 165, zoning regulations, article 302, definitions, article 413.
And is there a second?
Second.
Mark and Craig. Moved and seconded to move forward with this ordinance. If there are no other questions or comments from staff, we'll put it to a roll call vote.
Anderson,
Yes.
Turler,
yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Engel.
Yes.
That ordinance passes. Next, moving on to resolution for approval, setting dates of consultation and public hearing on a proposed amendment to number 10 to the Mount Vernon Urban Renewal Plan in the city of Mount Vernon, state of Iowa. This is the next step in the quick trip process.
Yeah, both of these resolutions are just setting dates, albeit slightly different dates. The first is the amendment to the urban renewal plan. Anytime that you have the potential to use tax increment financing, it has to be found within your urban renewal plan itself. So that'll be the first item that you contend with. The second will be a potential development agreement with Quick Trip itself regarding Rachel Street.
So this first is just setting the public hearing date, correct?
Both of them are setting public hearings.
Oh, gotcha.
I would move resolution 12-2-2024A, setting the public hearing date for January 6, 2024, for consideration of amendment number 10 to the Mount Vernon Urban Renewal Plan.
I'll second with a noted amendment from Craig of 2025.
Yeah.
Be on top of that. With that one correction, we've got a motion on the floor, approved and seconded, to move forward with this resolution. Put it to a roll call vote. One quick question of staff. At what point will we see a plat of the layout? Is that
Site plan?
Yeah, site plan. Are we anywhere close to that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
Doesn't have to be here.
It's not on page 39? No.
you'll see a more fixed site plan probably at the same time you're looking at development agreement, because they'll want, before Quick Star will move forward and finalize their purchases, they will want approvals of all of those items. So as of right now, you can see the site plan and the development agreement in the same PUD.
Wait till then.
It's not, I should say though, for council, we have a site plan. It's not locked in yet, so I wouldn't distribute it from that perspective, but you're always welcome to stop in the city hall and take a look at them.
Thanks. Sounds good. Motion second on the floor for this resolution, and I think we're ready. Motion.
Engel,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Turler,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Resolution passes in the same vein. 12/2/2025.
If there aren't any questions, I would move approval of resolution number 12-2-2024B to setting a public hearing date to consider a development agreement with Quick Trip.
Second. And again, we're assuming it's 2025.
I would second, and we're setting this for the January 6th.
That was
You
not.
don't
have to specify the date, just adopt the resolution, but yes.
You're assuming.
We're going to move it second. A motion on the floor, moved and seconded to move forward with this second resolution for approval. And I think we're ready to vote on Marcia.
Rose,
Yes.
Engel,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
The second resolution was setting a date passes. No more proclamations or old business. Moving to motions for approval. We got a claims list this afternoon from Marcia. We'll finish an updated one. Craig made an observation about how where usually payroll is near the top, or the top. It's number 5 or so this month.
We're spending some money.
A lot of concrete.
And a lot of counsel that we're getting from our engineers.
I would move approval of the claims list as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the most recent claims list. No other questions of staff. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second motion for approval is special consideration of application number 1, Glen Street Extension. Council action as needed.
This is a formality, the application has been already sent, but, yeah, speaking of engineers, there's a lot of projects, a lot of pay applications coming from all different places, so this one was just overlooked.
So we're just caught up.
Yes.
Now that we know what that one is, Glen Street number 1, the motion to approve.
I would move approval of pay application number 1, Glen Street Extension, at $512,155.54.
Thank you, Craig. Is there a second?
Second.
Craig Mark. Moved and seconded to move forward with the application number 1 of the Glen Street Extension, which is also Minish Street, I guess, if you want to call that all part of that project. We're ready to vote on that one. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The motion is for JEO invoice on the Uptown Streetscape Plan. Lori will provide a brief update on the status of the draft master plan, it says here in my notes.
That's what I'm hearing.
Although I don't have a huge update, just because we just received it last Wednesday. I've gotten through about half of it, but it looks amazing. I'm excited to share it with everybody. JEO did a wonderful job of incorporating all the public feedback and the survey data. I have some revisions I would like. There's a couple things that, little high maintenance, so I wanna talk to them about some of their plantings and just some of the stuff that they suggested. I wanna pull it out of this master plan, and just to create something a little more manageable for Public Works, because that's initially who's going to be dealing with all of these pieces. So I'll have more of an update in the next council meeting. I want to sit down with Chris as well and kind of go through the draft.
Will we have a chance to look at that, Lori, before the next council meeting?
I can send it
If
to
you
you
don't
guys.
mind.
You guys can look at it, yeah. Absolutely.
That'd be great. That would be great.
For sure.
Invoice amount was $7,090.60 on that one. Any other comments from staff? Any questions of staff? Not if we're ready to vote on that JEO invoice.
Move approval of the JU invoice 156043 in the amount of $7,309.60.
Scott?
I'll second.
Mark. Moved and seconded to move forward with this most recent JEO invoice. And we're already voted on that. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Moving on to the Water's Edge invoice. See, Marion is using Water's Edge for their $26 to $27 million pool project that most recently noted. No cheap pools. Any comments, questions about this particular invoice?
I would move approval of invoice number 11044, Water's Edge Design, in the amount of $29,725.
Thank you, Paul. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Paul's got two and second to move forward for payment. The most recent Water's Edge invoice. Ready to vote on that? All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No other reports or discussion items. Reports of mayors, council, administrators. I guess I'm first. One thing I mentioned that's probably not in any here anywhere is compliments to the chiefs for fire chief, ambulance, and police for being on the agenda at the LBC lecture series last Thursday, I think it was, 2 Thursdays ago. Did a good job. Had no problem getting plenty of discussion among the group and filling in the hour plus to that were needed there. I always learn something from each department about who wants what next. Like, cool with this. But it was compliments on that. Some of the community members are here. Like that. So thanks to the chiefs. They did a great job for them very well. That was all I had for mayor's reports. Council reports. Committee reports. And city administrators reports.
Next Cornell Mount Vernon Community School District City meeting is slated for Tuesday, December 10th on Cornell's campus. Tomorrow we will be meeting with OPN Architects to discuss that possible addition to the LC, what that looks like. The leaf back program kind of speaks for itself. There's snow on the ground that was complete right before Thanksgiving break. Just a brief update on the water meter project. Beppo is now gone. They had a 94.4% completion rate. Equates out to just over 1,300 meters. 81 meters that did not get replaced or installed that the city will have to contend with. Of those, only 31, I think 31 or 32 were non-responsive, so nobody, after all 5 notices, actually talked to the city. 36 either needed additional plumbing work or were waiting on a smaller meter. So the city will look at those next. Of the remaining, my guess is that the council will have to have a discussion on how they want to move forward with that. If you want to levy a monthly fee against those properties that are not complying, that will take additional action. But all in all, just shy of 95%, which is pretty good considering, as I told them today, I thought their initial schedule was insane.
And they delivered.
I didn't think that was any way possible. So yeah, that's kind of where that project is at, and I will have, Lori and I have a meeting, Lori, Matt and I have a meeting on Wednesday to get an update on pool. And potentially not go down every day because I don't want to see. Mother Nature does not cooperate, so my feeling is we'll get a slightly more bleak update to it. So.
Anything to report on the lead pipe component of the water meter project?
No, I think, of all of the individuals that were notified, it was more to do with the fact that we couldn't make a determination. So we do encourage people, if they do want to get their water tested, to share the results with the city. If they get a negative lead test, then they can be taken off the list. We have to send this notice yearly. If you follow national news, they've started to this started to pop up all over the country. My question to the engineers is, will this change here in a couple of months? EPA rules and how staunchly they enforce them tend to change with administration. So as of right now, we will continue to send these notices on an annual basis. It's not the UI, the water testing.
Yes, you do.
Or UI, has a kit that you can get for $20 plus shipping if you want to have your water tested at all. The city's water supply gets tested, obviously, and it rarely stays stagnant, obviously, being used daily. I'm not concerned, but it is something that, like I said, individuals that live in older homes, kind of like lead-based paint. If you have a house that's built prior to the 1970s, there's always a chance.
So if somebody gets a negative test, they go out on their own, do a negative test, report to the city, does that come off of the city's list, or do they still?
Yeah, so they, as long as, you know, all of the paperwork was followed through, they would get a notice moving forward.
Okay.
Question kind of in this area, probably more for Eldon. I know the pickup stops at Thanksgiving theoretically. Do we do branch pickup through the winter? We don't, that's basically done.
Nope, our policy states, the end of November.
Okay, I just wanted to.
Brush pickup as well.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions, staff?
Well, just in a storm event or something,
Yeah, yeah.
that is an exception.
Don't put them on the curb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, don't assume that the fourth week of the month they're coming around, because they're not. And I will say that staff has done a really good job over the last several years during or post-storm events, both winter and summer. So appreciate all the work they do.
Yeah, there will be an update that would be issued from City Hall by social media, newspaper, if we do happen to have an ice storm or something like that occurs over this winter time. And the Bryant Road site is open year round, so you're still welcome to take your items there. But for the most part, until spring gets back and the snow's gone.
Any other comments, questions of staff? Anything else that needs to come before this council at this meeting? Otherwise, we are adjourned. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
That's got to be your shirt. That's got to be your shirt.